please begin the program.
Good morning to one and all present here. On the behalf of Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, I welcome the August Assembly to the inaugural function of the two-day National Geographers Youth Conclave on the theme, Domains of Emotional Geography, Environment, Culture, and Society. This youth conclave gives an opportunity to the young undergraduates pursuing geography across institutions to come under one platform to present their work output and deliberate on their research findings based on their original work and innovative approach. The idea behind this conclave is to provide a platform for all geography students to come together and ignite their own creative minds and put forth their nascent step towards research. Emotional geography is growing interdisciplinary subject matter that combines the insights from environment, culture, and society. As emotions play an important role in how humans think and behave, so it influences the action and the directions one make in lifetime. The youth conference aims at examining how emotions fit with culture on different geographies and how their expressions vary to create meanings in our lives. How emotions and its effect vary or are concentrated over space. Our faculty members will take you deep about NGYC later during this event. As said by Swami Vivekananda, everything in the universe is yours. Stretch out your arms and embrace it with love. If you ever felt you wanted to do that, you have felt God. We will begin with invocation to thank God for all the blessings.
शारदे माँ सरस्वती शारदे कोण ज्ञान उदधि से कोण ज्ञान उदधि से वीणा पाणी तार दे तार दे तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे माँ सरस्वती शारदे सूर्य ब्रह्म शिव विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवते सूर्य ब्रह्म शिव विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवते हम शिशु हैं अज्ञानी माता इन चरणों का प्यार दे वीणा पानी तार दे तार दे तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे माँ सरस्वती शारदे नहीं जाने जननी, पूजन वंदन ध्यान को। मूर्ख हम नहीं जाने जननी, पूजन वंदन ध्यान को। आदिशक्ति कर क्षमा हमें, आदिशक्ति कर क्षमा हमें, पूजा के उद्गार दे। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे। माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे। श्वेत कमल तेरा आसन है, श्वेत हंस तेरा वाहन है। श्वेत कमल तेरा आसन है, श्वेत हंस तेरा वाहन है। हम पर सिद्ध दृष्टि कर जनने, बोध शीर की धार दे। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे। माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे। पूर्ण इस ज्ञान उदधि से, पूर्ण इस ज्ञान उदधि से। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे। माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे।
Beautiful blend of tune and divine music. The Saraswati Vandana was sung by Harshit Pati, student from second year. Now, I would like to request Professor Poonam Sharma to address the August House. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Analya. Good morning and a very warm welcome to you all. Principal Sahab, Professor Anil Sadana ji, our speaker, Dr. Monica Vidge, esteemed jury members, Professor P.L. Basu Roy, Dr. Diksha Vajpayee Tiwari, Dr. Kiran Bhairwar, participants, mentors, colleagues from different colleges and different universities, and students from various universities of India, a very warm welcome to you all. National Geographers Youth Conclave is the annual event of Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, University of Delhi. It is well known and most awaited event as it gives a huge exposure for research and learning to students at undergraduate level. This series was in fact started first time by Dr. V.A.V. Raman. We give a lot of appreciations for the idea and initiative Dr. Raman. This year's theme, Domains of Emotional Geography, Environment, Culture, and Society. Let me take you to a little journey of the emotions. Emotions are very complex reflections of human behavior. They create one's personality and influence others. Emotions have been defined as feelings having both psychological and cognitive components. Human interactions with society and environment create complex flow of energy. We witness various emotions, mood swings in our lifetimes. Our behavior is directed by our feelings and experiences. Emotional geography studies human interaction with geographic space based on emotions. In the Indian school of thought, emotions are seen as arising from desires. There is a strong emphasis on sukh and dukh, pleasure and pain, as the two contrast situations. The stronger the desire, the stronger would be the emotional experience. One aspect is krodh, anusya, and dukkha, that is anger, unhappiness, and sufferings. The another one that leads to happiness, sukh, happiness and enjoyment. Indian scriptures warns us of a very, very significant emotion, that is greed, lobh, the greed of seeking more and more. Arrogance, matsarya, the envy. There's one more, important aspect of human emotional experience is the bhay, the feeling of fear. These are, combinations of these various emotions impact one's intellectual discrimination and leads to various behavioral aspects. Our nation has a special place in our heart because the land, the resources of our nation reflects the feeling of belongingness, the patriotism. These are also emotions, your association with your region. Our emotions are also linked to our workplaces. My institution, my university, my city, right? And then, for example, if we see farmer, my land. So India, we say as Matrabhumi, the motherland. Here, these all are our associations and emotions. Here, the emotional geography has a common concern with spatiality and temporal aspect of emotions, as mentioned by Davidson. One of it, the central theme of the examination of how feelings mediate both our consciousness and unconscious behaviors, as mentioned by Hallman in his work. Understanding the emotions help us to understand the actual geography. A geographer should try to study emotional linkages to understand the behavioral aspect of a particular culture. The religious beliefs and traditions have historical bonding that float from one generation to other generation. The emotional aspects thus have both spatial and temporal dimensions. I'll give an example. Sundarlal Bahuganaji, an environmentalist, he initiated Chipko movement. He won the battle by loving and hugging trees. That was an emotion. He confronted the commercial aspect of concern with the trees. Similarly, if I give another example, Tourism Department of India uses the slogan, Atiti Deva Bhava, shows that an outsider is in our territorial space welcome, like a god. This grooms the tourism industry of India with emotion of love, respect, and empathy. So today, the geography fraternity and the budding geographers of India sit to meditate about a native yet modern concept of Indian culture. That is bhav or thought of emotions and its reaction in different spatial and temporal context. We thus begin a journey to explore these emotions by various research studies conducted by our young geographers in the last 6 months under the guidance of their mentors. The National Geographers Youth Conclave 2022 opens a new arena and phase of research by pioneering thought of emotional geography so that our studies become more thoughtful, empathetic over the years to come. With these words, I wish you all a very fruitful deliberations in different sessions in the various thematic sessions, technical sessions over 2 days. Thank you so much. Thank you, Analia.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we are delighted to have amongst us our Honorable Principal Sir, Dr. Anil Sardana, who is a constant guiding beacon and support to the Department of Geography. Sir, we welcome you and request you to bestow us with your inspiring words.
Thank you very much. Professor Swati Rajput, the convener of this youth conclave, Dr. Kavita Arora, co-convener, Professor Poonam Sharma, Dr. Raman, the concept builder, original idea came from him and it was a grand success. Since then it is. And other senior teachers of the department who are always contributing towards any program, any event, like Dr. Vishraj Sharma, Dr. Suraj, Dr. Amrita, and guests who have come from other colleges, delegates, and we have our friend Professor Negi, EC member. I welcome you to Youth Conclave, which is going to deliberate on domains of emotional geography, environment, culture, and society. At the outset, I would like to welcome Dr. Monica Wiz, who is expert on the subject, authority, who has accepted this invitation, has obliged us, and will be educating our students, training them on a subject which is very important, as Professor Poonam has expressed in few lines. You know, she has actually told you each and everything, whatever is going to be covered in this youth conclave, or 2 days youth conclave. Dr. Monica Wiz is from Miranda House, and she is going to be a keynote speaker for today. So we are thankful to you and we welcome. I also welcome the judges who have spared their time, who will be associating with us and will be seeing that how delegates are going to perform. I'm thankful to Dr. Diksha, Professor Pyal, Dr. Kiran. Dr. Diksha is from Dayal Singh College. Dr. Kiran is from Delhi School of Economics, and Professor Pyal is from Baba University. He's a professor and head. We are thankful to you, 3 of you. So we are much obliged that you will be sparing time. And I welcome all the delegates who have come from different colleges. This is a very big event from the Department of Geography, and this has always been very successful and it contributes a lot. And today, the topic which is being covered, the subject which is being taught is relating to human geography and emotional geography, which will be talking about, you know, your attitude, your perception, your thinking. If your emotions are better, your attitude is better. Your attitude is better, your actions are better, and you relate yourself in a positive way with the environment, with the culture, and accordingly your actions are. Now, particularly we see that during this pandemic time, learning about this emotional health and emotional well-being and culture and society environment is really very important, because all these things, we are going through a phase where all these things have been affected. We are going through this phase that in spite of our willingness to do and contribute for environment, for culture, for society, we are not able to do. And how it has affected our mind, how it has affected our actions, how it has affected our thinking. These 2 days are definitely going to tell you that what exactly they are, how they have been affected, and how it can be improved. Because in a healthy mind, it will always create positive things and will contribute more. Emotions are, if positive, better, at a high note, then the quotient of happiness will be high. And then if you are happy at your heart, at your mind, your contribution will be definitely very good. We have experts from different places who are going to discuss with you, and the 2 days conclave have been designed in such a way that it will extract many things from you, and it will give back to you also many things, because there will be a kind of interaction, peer tutoring, and so many other activities. I'm sure the delegates who have come from so many institutes, they are definitely going to gain, and they will remember it for their life, that these are the positive contribution which has been made by Shaheed Bhagat Singh College Department of Geography, which is a very cohesive department, and they all work together. And the student leaders of the Department of Geography are also very good managers. I have seen their activities at different point of time, and I'm always very happy, or in the outside, I am always say that we are proud of our Department of Geography. Not speaking much on the subject, because we have the expert Dr. Monica Vij and others also who will be speaking on this. I once again welcome you all the delegates, all the organizers, students, guests, and other people who have come from different colleges and who are associated with us, because I always seen that the Department of Geography, even at the university level, also works as a big family. And we really that with all these compliments and with all these greetings, my blessings to young students to learn and to become a better person with the better emotions, so that they can take care of environment, they can take care of society, and they can conserve the resources. Best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We are very grateful for your uplifting and encouraging words. Now, I am elated to inform that the Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, is releasing the abstract volume of its 2022 academic year, which gives a brief insight into the papers and researches. The PDF of the abstract will be available to everyone on the NGYC WhatsApp group and will also be mailed personally to all the participants. Moving on now, I am privileged to invite Dr. Rashmi Rani Anand ma'am for introducing and welcoming our keynote speaker for the day. Over
Thank
to
you, Nitin. Thank you, Nitin. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Sneha Krishnan. She's an associate professor in human geography at the University of Oxford. She's a feminist historian.
Dr.
Dr.
Rashmi,
Monica Vij.
yeah.
Yeah, but ma'am has sent her message, so like
Okay.
so I'll be introducing her, and then I'll be speaking about her message.
Dear,
And
just
then
a
I'll
minute,
introduce
Rashmi.
Monica ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dear participants, there's a last minute change due to the poor health. Dr. Sneha would not be able to join us, so Rashmi would be reading their message. Please continue, Rashmi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So Dr. Sneha Krishnan, she is an associate professor in human geography at the University of Oxford. She is a feminist historical and cultural geographer. She teaches papers like human geography, geographical controversies and geographical techniques, geographical thought, childhood and youth in the global South. Her area of research is how histories of colonialism and imperial afterlife shapes experiences of childhood and youth. So ma'am has extensively worked on emotional geography, and because she has tested COVID positive, so now like she has given her message, And she has said she has extended her warm wishes for this NGYC 2022 and has said that she would love to connect with us in future dialogue for the same topic. So having said that, now I would like to introduce our next speaker, which is keynote speaker, Dr. Monica Vish ma'am. And it is an absolute honor to introduce you, ma'am, as she is my teacher also. She has a huge influence on her students, and this I can say for myself, and my initial passion for teaching has been inspired by her. She's an associate professor at the Department of Geography, Miranda House, University of Delhi, with more than 25 years of teaching and research experience. Ma'am received PhD from Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. She did her postdoctoral research on the prestigious ICSSR Fellowship of MHRD and is the recipient of various awards. Her area of interest is urban and regional planning, urban crime, from geographical perspective, rural development, geographical information system, cartography, and emotional, different aspects of emotional geography. She has also worked on ecofeminism using PRA and evaluated development communication activities of information dissemination, social mobilization, and behavior changes of tribal women in Madhya Pradesh. She has published a number of research papers in national and international journals and has also participated and presented research paper in many conferences in India and abroad. She's involved in several international exchange programs between Delhi University and other universities. Having said that, now I request Dr. Monica Vish ma'am to give her perspective and insights on the topic. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you, Rashmi, for a very warm welcome and a very much larger than deserving introduction.
Ma'am, absolutely, you deserve this, ma'am.
Respected principal, Dr. Poonam Sharma, Professor Poonam Sharma, Professor Swati. It's an honor to be a part of this youth conclave. And I would say that, of course, it matters to me that, there was this emotional dependence on me. I'm very honored. I'm very thankful. In fact, that this is an ideal way the people could depend on me, and a last minute call to me at probably 8:45 came to me that I have to be a keynote speaker to a very august gathering of Shaheed Bhagat Singh College. So I am honored. I'm very glad that, this emotional dependence was there. So I'm very grateful to you, in fact, that you could rely on me. And before I begin with the lecture, I would say that I should congratulate Shaheed Bhagat Singh College for organizing such a wonderful initiative to introduce, undergrad students to research, and it gives them a wide perspective, and it gives them an excellent opportunity. I would congratulate the entire geography department of Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, and particularly thanks to the principal, Dr. Anil Sardana ji, that they give that he gives so much of space to the department to explore and to continuously expand in their field. Now, coming to the topic of today's topic of domains of emotional geography, environment, culture, and society. So we all need to understand that the aspect of all scholarly development and research and whatever we do is basically to understand and to enhance, flourishing of human beings, welfare of human beings, and flourishing of human beings. Now, there are different understandings of culture. And we find that culture, if we define, can be seen as the representation of everyday interactions, practices, and values that shape every aspect of our social life. And once social life is impacted in a particular manner, it will lead to a different, spatial construct. So culture is the first part which will impact the socio-spatial order within a society. It will bring certain structures. It's a constructive aspect. Once social construction has taken place, it will definitely lead to different social relations, different social identities, social inequalities. And as I said, the purpose of all scholarly development is human development, welfare of human beings, flourishing of human beings. So we need to first of all understand what is that social construct which is impacting what is that culture which is impacting the social construct, and that social construct is impacting the spatial order. So this is all related. Emotional geography, as has been discussed immensely so far, introduced by Professor Poonam Sharma, it talks about, basically it is the study of recursive relation between emotions and space. And when we say development or human welfare or flourishing of human beings is the ultimate objective of all scholarly development and whatever research and whatever conversations we have. So emotional geography comes as a very handy tool to us because it is trying to understand the social differences, social relations, and we are trying through emotional geography, we are trying to go deeper down into the cause of those social variations, which are impacting the spatial structure. Now, what is interesting about emotional geography is that it is trying to give attention primarily to two aspects. The first aspect is that it is trying to challenge the taken for granted world, taken for granted world. That is the world which is following a particular path of development, and that particular path of development is caught between universalism and the cultural representation part of development. That do we have a universal culture on the basis of which we are continuing to develop, or is there a cultural relativism? When we say these words, society, now what is society? Society is a group of people who are occupying a particular geographical space. And that particular geographical space, that set of people have a certain set of values with which they identify themselves with. So this comes into a great conflict when we talk about universalism and we consider development as a universal aspect. So emotional geography, as a very sub-discipline of human geography, down to the core, is trying to challenge this taken for granted world wherein it is trying to give representation to the often silenced emotions, the repressed emotions. And in fact, sometimes we find that because there is social variation, there are power seekers. That power seeker can be within our family, within our relationships, whatever social group, whatever community group we are existing, there'll be power seekers. And those power seekers would try to capture the emotions also, the repressed emotions, and would attempt to reclaim their emotions. Now, this we can see within our social relationships, we can see in our political relationships, we can see in our resource allocations and resource relationship. Whatever aspect you take up for in your human existence, you would find that we do live in a taken for granted world wherein these emotions are not given a voiced expression. So emotional geography is a wonderful move. It is an attempt towards reclaiming those repressed emotions and giving voice to those people who are existing in this world. First of all, this. Second, emotional geography is trying to give representation to the non-representational theories. Just as emotions are repressed, sometimes society does not give us the right to express those emotions because we are socialized in a particular manner. Whatever emotions we might have are repressed because the society does not allow us to give expression to those emotions. So emotional geography is not only trying to understand the existence of those emotions over a particular group of people who are living over a particular geographical space, but it is trying to understand individual emotions through, individual mind. So emotional geography becomes a very multidisciplinary subject, which is trying to take recourse to behavioral geography, to the psychoanalytic theories, and we try to understand that what are the emotions in an individual mind, and do emotions exist only as a property of an individual mind, or sometimes these collective emotions lead to certain social behavior. So emotional geography is basically trying to give, voice to the suppressed emotions, trying to reclaim individual emotions also, trying to understand the hidden emotions, and trying to give voice to the repressed aspects of a individual and to a social group as well. Now we find that culture as such, the important part of this today's conference is about domains of emotional geography, environment, culture, and society. So culture, we can say, is a very fluid process. And it has multi-directional connections, as individuals also, we have a wide range of emotions, we have wide creativity, we have wide imaginations, and cultures develop over time. They constantly transformed because of, so human is one individual who has very sharp mind tendencies to mold its emotions, and this makes it a multi-directional multi-dimensional process evolving over time. There are various interactions, particularly in the time of these in the context of globalization. This globalization aspect again connects us to the earlier conversation dispute which I had talked about of universalism or cultural relativism. Now, as I said earlier, that the aspect of the main purpose of the entire process of scholarly debate and discussions is human flourishing, welfare, development, and human growth. So this aspect, particularly emotional geography, first of all, if we try to relate, we can say that Professor Amartya Sen, when he was talking about development as freedom, tried to hint towards this aspect of emotional geography, wherein he said that, when we are talking about development, we have to consider development as freedom. And when he talks about freedom, he talks about three components. First is about life sustenance, which of course every government tries to provide life sustenance, wherein tries to talk about basic needs of housing, clothing, food, education, issues of distribution, social equity and equality. That aspect, of course, remains as a very, very government, policy making and aspect. Second, very important component, which not much, scholarly debate has taken place, trying to relate it to development. And that second important concept is about self-esteem. When he talks about self-esteem, he's talking about feeling of respect and independence. That is a very significant component, which Professor Amartya Sen hinted about defining development much earlier in 1990s. So self-esteem is an aspect which can be clearly related to emotional geography, wherein the people have to have that feeling of self-respect. You might give, the government might in its development process give many, free subsidies, many support in terms of developmental, infrastructural development, and a feeling of independence. Till then, that individual will not consider himself to be flourishing. So self-esteem, wherein we try to understand the emotionality, whether the person is actually feeling independent or feeling influence of someone else controlling his emotions. The third aspect for development, which Professor Amartya Sen hinted, was freedom. So first was life sustenance, that is government aspect. Second is self-esteem, and third is freedom. Now, this freedom again relates us to emotional geography. Freedom he defines as the ability of people to determine their own destiny. Now, freedom of people to determine their own destiny. Till the time people do not understand their emotions, till the time they are not able to, express their emotions. First of all, they have to emotions. Secondly, they're not able to express their emotions, or their emotions are being reclaimed and represented by some other powerful group. Till that time, a person cannot feel that he is, he's able to determine his own destiny. So sometimes we find that particularly people who are on the margins, this could be different sections of society, this could be gendered spaces, this could be, race, caste, religion, various communities who are in the margins, who have no education, who have no skills, and on top of it are socialized in a manner to not express their emotions, or their emotions are being reclaimed by a powerful group and reflected on space कि यहाँ पे development इस तरह का होगा because we consider that it has to be this way. that aspect will be covered by, should be covered, intended to be covered by emotional geography. So Professor Amartya Sen's concept of development hinted at emotional geography, wherein he thinks, he tries to emphasize on the concept that the range of choice, development is freedom, is development is basically expansion of that range of choice open to individuals and not only to the majority. And it is this which will impact upon the welfare and development and well-being of individuals, and the society as a whole would be able to flourish. And as Professor Poonam Sharma also referred to Sundarlal Bahugunaji, that reflects that, till the time we do not understand individuals, we do not understand society, we do not understand their required needs, we will keep moving towards universalism of development and will not bring in cultural relativity. So emotional geography is a microfield of human geography, which is trying to understand these aspects. And we have seen that development agencies also over the years, international development agencies, have been recognizing this field, and we find that there is a participatory development approach, and participation is taken as an equivalent to empowerment. And it is being believed that different sections of society have to be included and in development planning and policy making. So emotional geography will help us to understand these aspects of the society. Relating to this development and universalism and cultural relativism debate, one thing which comes up very often is the migration of people. And in this globalized world, we find that it is, yesterday was our Republic Day, and we realized that it is this country who's giving us identity, our individual identity. We relate to this particular political identity. But when we talk about migrations, both internal migrations, there's a large amount of internal mobility as well as international mobility. What happens to the emotions of those people? Because as I defined earlier, that society is a group of people who's occupying a particular geographical space. And in that geographical space, they are developing their culture, their values, they are giving meanings to those values. And then because of that geographical space, they have their identity. And gradually, with the basis of that identity, they develop their political identity. But in this globalization world, wherein we find that there's such huge mobility of people, both internal as well as international, what happens to the emotionality of those peoples? Are they able to even represent their emotions? Again, the same questions. Are they able to express their emotions? Are they able to reclaim those spaces which they deserve based on their emotions? Or they are caught into the power seekers particular geographical space. So a wonderful approach towards emotional geography. And so it opens up larger fields of research. The undergrad students who are here I would request them that there are larger fields of emotional geography which need to be understood, particularly at international level. How universal cultural development, the idea of monoculturalism, the tensions, conflicts within the world for multiculturalism and transculturalism emotional geography will help us to understand those debates in a larger field. There are many fields within this country. Till now, we've been talking about food insecurities. We're talking about power, gendered, feminist geographies. There are political tensions, social, and I'm sure the development of emotional geography might throw, it might be repressed within the scholarly world of human geography, mainly because, it will throw challenge at two things, that it is difficult to measure. Theoretical understandings are not that strong. Quantitative or measuring, this is purely a subjective and qualitative study. So this might throw a little challenge to the subject of human geography itself, because it might not be theorized in a very good manner. Emotional geography might have to borrow to a great extent from the field of psychology and cognitive sciences. But till the time emotional geography does not borrow, does not make itself scientifically apt towards it. There are courses for computer sciences. We try to quantify this also. we try to develop it in a very scientific manner, then emotional geography can address various questions to the socio-spatial variations and the socio-spatial inequalities which exist in the society. So that is all. I would once again thank Shaheed Bhagat Singh College to give me this opportunity. And I would wish the wide participants, I can see 206 participants. That speaks a lot. And that too from, online classes going on. Today morning, I had I had a lecture, college lecture at 9:30, and I found that around 16 girls from my Miranda house are participating here. And they very enthusiastically told me that, ma'am, we have to go there. We won't be able to attend the class. So till that time, even I didn't know that even I'm going to be here. But that was a great experience. All the best for this conclave. Looking forward to hear some wonderful research papers by young scholars. And thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
I must say, ma'am, our emotion were just right, and we approach a right person to deliver this keynote address. Nobody else can deliver this much of good lecture on this topic at given the time we provided you. Thank you so much to join us. And this was really wonderful speech. I was able to connect the Amartya Sen thought with the emotions. And it was really, I really enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Monica, for helping us. Emotions, help is also emotion. Thank you.
This is what I said,
wonderful. You spoke really well.
It was very good and a very good lecture. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Sardana. And as Dr. Poonam
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This entire group of geographers, we have grown together.
Yes.
So the association is over 30 years.
Yes.
So it's definitely an emotional connect. I can never say no to our own people.
Right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving different perspective of emotional geography and spatial aspects of voiced and unvoiced emotions, development and emotional discourse, idea of monoculture and various debates, challenges pertaining to emotional geography. Thank you, ma'am, once again. Now we have next speaker as Professor Piyal Basu Roy, sir, to give views on the emotional geography discourse, who agreed to speak on the topic. Sir, he is a professor and head Department of Geography, Kuch Bihar, Panchnan Burma University, Kuch Bihar, West Bengal. His education is from Vishwa Bharati Shanti Niketan, Masters in Geography 2003 and PhD in Geography 2012. He has 15 years of teaching experience. He is an editor of GeoAnalyst Journal of the Geographical Society of West Bengal, and worked as administrative member governing body Alipur College, West Bengal, India from 2012 to 2016, and university nominee and president governing body Birpara College, West Bengal, India till date. His life member of more than 8 learned geographical societies. Sir has numerous book and peer-reviewed articles in renowned journal published in his credit on tourism, transport, urban, gender, regional geography, then emotional geography. He has completed numerous UGC and ICSSR funded projects. He has presented a large number of papers in national and international conferences and chaired and co-chaired a number of conferences as well. Sir has widely worked, as I have already mentioned, that on emotional geography. So we are glad to have you, sir, with us. So now I request sir to deliver his lecture. Over to you, sir. Piyal Basu, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the faculty members, principals of Department of Geography to organize such an interesting event, which I think very much suitable for the fraternity of the geography, students of geography, research scholar of the geography. The National Geographers Youth Conclave on Domains of Emotional Geography, which is being organized by the Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College is unique, I think, very interesting. And there are so many participants taking part in this conclave. And at the beginning, I would like to convey my heartiest gratitude, since they have thought me myself suitable for uh, conducting this conclave as a judge. And since I have a connection with Dr. Kavita Arora, as she came here, and since then I am to some extent attached with the Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, and since they have invited me to be the part of the conclave, I am very much grateful. And I have heard the very important word that Dr. Sneha Krishnan has already mentioned, and it is really so much tough when the main keynote speaker actually they could not able to deliver her speech. And I know that the convener of the uh, conference, most probably Professor Sati Rajput, I have come to know that there is a actually her uh, father-in-law most probably has expired. So it is I feel the situation. It is how much critical situation. And today's morning I have received a message that Professor Sneha Krishnan will not be able to deliver her keynote address. And I am very much grateful, since Dr. Monica Bej has agreed to deliver the keynote address. Really, it is interesting. And before going into the uh, detail, or before going into the main part of the emotional geography, I would like to again congratulate all of you, particularly Professor Anil Sardana sir, Kavita Arora ma'am, Shati Rajput ma'am, Poonam Sharma ji, all of the faculty members for their invitation. Now, I am going to start. Since I was not prepared for this, so I am going to give a view what is emotional geography. Yeah. You see, at first, emotional, when we talk about emotional geography, now we have to first study the background. How did emotional geography come? Nah? So you see, it is actually it was in 20th century, after World War II. Then geography witnessed fundamental changes in analyzing its theme by quantitative and qualitative approach. Hmm. But all of you know that there is quantitative revolution at that time, particularly in 1950s or 60s. So there was a quantitative revolution, but simultaneously there was qualitative approaches also in geographical study. Although advocates of quantitative revolution and positivism tended to accept nomothetic approach in geographical study. That means the rationality of generalization. That means quantification. There are, suppose, socioeconomic study of Indian population. So there are so many people. We are taking a very few sample, and thereafter we are analyzing what they have informed us. That means through questionnaire method, and thereafter we are putting those information in software, SPSS or statistical software or other parts, then we are getting the result. So a large number of population remain unsurveyed or unconnected. Therefore, this is the generalization. That means the subject is getting squeezed. Now, what is the this is the problem of quantification in geographical study. And that study, that means quantification of the study, was often characterized by traditional and inferential statistics and mathematics. Now, what happened after the World War II? There was a tremendous crisis, societal crisis, in terms of crime, in terms of place for habitation, in terms of economic equality. That means there was economic inequality existed, and there was a gap of social interaction, that means there was an emotional gap completely. People could not understand people. People could not understand the nature. People could not understand what to do. At that time, it was questionable about the application of quantitative techniques. At that moment, David M. Smith, who was the founder of social well-being, through his concept of social well-being, actually put forward the concept of emotion in geography indirectly, which is nothing but is an idiographic approach. And it is nothing but the attachment to the environment, may it be physical environment, may it be social environment, may it be cultural environment. So emotional geography came into existence as opposed to quantitative geography. So many other aspects, emotional geography is basically part of humanistic geography, but at that time, humanistic geography did not broadly include emotional geography. Emotional geography has been described very recently, 8 decades or 2 decades before. So there is a coalition between quantification, model building approach versus qualitative approach. And emotional geography actually came into existence as a qualitative approach. Okay. Now, you see, often we know that geography is a study of areal differentiation and spatial organization. Now, being areally differentiated and spatially organized, geography has always explored itself as a study of reciprocal relationship between man and environment. It seems that the genesis and continuity of geography as a branch of learning is the result of dynamic interaction between place, process, and people. Where place interact each other, people and place interact each other through a process. I repeat, people and places interact each other through the process that is called place attachment. And from this place attachment, emotional landscape emerged. Now, place attachment does not mean it is a physical place. It may be social place also, social space also, physical space also. So, in this way, After 1970, after the contribution of David M. Smith, there was another geographer, Y. Futuan, who has done the pioneering work in the field of emotional geography. And he gave two important concepts. One is topophilia, another is topophobia. So topophilia, what is topophilia? Topophilia is love of a place, but love to a place. And topophobia is fear to a place. For example, when there is a change of administration in Taliban, in Afghanistan, tourists, we the common people, we had a fear to go there. So at that time, Afghanistan exert a emotion, an emotion, which is topophobia. That means we are very much afraid of the situation or afraid of the place that is exerting negativity, negative attitude among us. That is called topophobia. And what is topophilia? You see, topophilia, love to a place. You see, so many faculty members of Shaheed Bhagat Singh College may be from outside Delhi, maybe their hometown in other places. So they often return or go to their home places. That means they love to their home places. That means their home places are exerting some kind of positivity, positive sense, that is positive emotion or topophilia. So these are the two very much contrasting terms that is often used in emotional geography. Now, emotional geography, basically emotional geography before 1970, geography was mainly considered as quantitative geography. And it was significantly dehumanized. Dehumanized means human conception, human perception was not given due attention at that time. What people are saying, basically, emotional geography or qualitative geography, it does not include much area, rather a small area, like a colony, like a small town. But you have to take all the samples. You have to stay there to feel them. You have to feel them by staying there 6 months, 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe more than that. Then you have to perceive their feelings. You can be able to perceive what they are actually. Otherwise, it is quite impossible to know all the things by using a schedule or questionnaire within 1 or 2 or 7 days. I am asking question, you give me the answer. It is not possible. So that is why qualitative approach in geographical study is very much important. So when any research need to be conducted in human geographical arena, then qualitative approach will be much better than that of quantitative approach. But it is true that the qualitative information may be used for the purpose of analysis with the help of quantitative techniques, but not necessary we have to use the quantitative technique. But the problem is Indian geography is still dependent on quantitative techniques. Now you see place attachment that I have just mentioned earlier. This place attachment is of two types also. One is place dependence and one is place identity. Now, what is place dependence? Place dependence is you are in Delhi right now. You have to depend for your daily needs on Delhi for medical purpose, for educational purpose, for household purpose. So these purposes have compelled you to depend on Delhi. This is the place dependence. And what is place identity? Place identity, that I am talking when Kavita ma'am came here. Where are you from, ma'am? I am Delhi. Then you are representing that you are from Delhi. Then in you see in the Olympic, Indian flag holders, they run with a flag, na? That is representing Indian nationality. That means when we talk about who we are, then we may say that we are Indian. That this is the place identity. Or I am a Bengali. That Bengali means we are from Bengal. This Bengali is the place identity which is reflecting that I am from West Bengal. Okay. So, and another thing is that likewise, one may say that I am Assamese. That means he or she is from Assam. So this is place identity. So you see, both of these are to some extent exhibiting their sense to the place, which is positivity, or which is of positive emotion. There is also a type of emotion that is neutral emotion, that is neither positive nor negative. Like I am asking, what about your thought about China's role in COVID-19 pandemic? So somebody may be reluctant and no, I don't have any idea. So this is neutral emotion. Okay. So these kind of emotional things are attached with geography, because this type of emotion is space and time oriented. When somebody expires, cry, but with the then a negative feelings comes, but with the passage of time we often forget that. Similarly, after staying in a place to a long time, a kind of place attachment grows, but when we leave that place we feel a pain, but the pain is not permanent. The pain is casual and varies from man to man. Somebody may carry the pain 1 year, somebody 7 days, somebody 10 years. Okay. So this is individual variation. Similarly, there is spatial variation also. You see how? You see, there are so many tourist places in India, but not all of the tourist places are exerting same type of positive influence on you. You like Kashmir very much, but not Jabbalpur like that. That means the qualities of Kashmir, the pristine quality of nature, the people living there, those are attracting you. That means those are creating positive emotion among you. Similarly, If an area is endowed with terrorist activities, then we often try to avoid to go there. That means that area is representing some type of negative feelings among us, to us. So that is the negative. So in respect of places, emotion varies. Similarly, I have already said that if you consider, if you do a longitudinal study, age and emotion, it also varies. Higher the age, higher will be the emotion. Maybe there is exception. So in the change of socio-demographic variables, emotion may be changed. Often elderly people, that means older adults, are more emotional than that of the younger people, because there is psychological causes behind that. There is also geographical causes also. You see, our ancestor or our parents often try to live in village area, not in town area. If children of some people live in town area, their parents live in village area, and if their children uh, tell them to come and live with them in city, they often try to avoid this. But not all of them, but most of them try to avoid this. So there is a spatial influence also. So similarly, we have physical environmental emotion, that means emotion to physical environment. Emotion to social environment is also, we often attend marriage, we often interact each other, but we do not uh, emotionally attach with all the people, not equally, but there is variation. So in this way, there is a strong influence of emotion in geography, and therefore there is certain physical, social, cultural, environmental control in developing emotion, and these are the important source of it as well. And while trying to understand one emotion towards the environment, may it be physical or social or cultural, then certain situational and individual factors like time, attitude, motive, interest, etc. may work. And you see, people grow up in a particular environmental setup, and whenever that setting is altered due to natural or anthropogenic causes, they feel discomfort in that environment. Since in general, the affection by the people to the places goes on increasing, there is felt strong synthesis between people and environment of this place that satisfies the human mind by bridging positive emotion. So similarly, culture is another source of affection of the people, which helps to understand the emotional bond between people and culture. You see the so many festival, like you see Tomatino festival, you know about Tomatino festival, so many people go there, because their culture is attracting us, Tomatino festival. In West Bengal there is Poush Mela, in Vishwabhauti Shantiniketan. So many people from India, even from abroad, come to see that. So these are the emotions that pull cultural environmental factors that control our mental health. Because you see, if you have good emotional sense, your mental health will be better. So I think emotional study, the study of emotional geography may be used for the development of medical geography also, because emotional, you see, NIMHANS or other psychological medical institute, they are recognizing the palliative care, they are recognizing the psychological medication to get rid of various issues, socio-psychological issues, so many stress, trauma like this. So I think uh, study of emotion in geography, it is very much important and will definitely place a new input in the field of geography. But emotional geography was rarely discussed as a separate field of study in geography before the advent of 21st century, although its roots may be traced in the conceptual ideas of behavioral and humanistic geography. Both behavioral and humanistic geography encompass perception and cognition as focal theme of geographical study, which was ignored by the proponent of quantitative geographers. So it is the high time to think about it, to reduce the impact of quantification. There has been increasing trend of usage of machine learning, sophisticated softwares, so many quantitative techniques. It is very much relevant, I think, but it is desirable but not essential, because because human mind, you cannot measure human mind by the with the help of or by the use of quantitative measures. It can be measured when you will come closer to anybody, otherwise it is not possible. And if you want to be closer to anybody, you have to express yourself, you have to come closer to him or her with emotional expression. That is all of my lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Basu sir, for giving different views of emotional geography, how via place attachment emotional geography has emerged, concept of topophilia and topophobia, place dependence and place identity, age and emotions, and other different dimensions of emotions, and how imperative is emotional geography. Thank you once again, sir, for your deliberation. Now I request Nitin to take over the further proceedings of the inaugural session. Over to you, Nitin.
Thank you, ma'am. We are grateful to both these speakers for very illuminating discussions. Now I request Dr. Neha ma'am for introducing our jury members, Dr. Kiran and Dr. Diksha Bajpayee Tiwari.
Please
Thank you.
make Dr.
Thank you.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, please carry on.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Nitin. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome Dr. Diksha Bajpayee Tiwari, ma'am, Associate Professor, Department Geography, Dayal Singh College. Ma'am has 19 years of teaching experience in geography and social human aspects of disciplines of geography in undergraduate and postgraduate teaching. Her areas of interest are human development, social impact assessment, development, and gender issues. She is a recipient of national scholarships, and she has well over 25 publications in reputed national and international journals, and also a wide range of paper presentations. And it's a privilege that ma'am is with us. Welcome, ma'am, to the conclave. I would also like to welcome Dr. Kiran sir. Dr. Kiran Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, University of Delhi, Delhi School of Economics. He has completed his PhD from National University of Singapore and MPhil from JNU, New Delhi, and he has well over 15 years of teaching experience, and his specialization include queer geography, urban social and culture geography, gender geography, South Asia, and he has taught numerous subjects like cultural geography, and he has guided MPhil and PhD students also, and he's the recipient of paper awards also, and he's a member of well-learned bodies like NAGI and AGS. And it's our privilege, sir, to have you in the conference. Welcome to you, sir, also. Thank you. Over to you, Nitin.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I now like to call upon Dr. Vishwaraj sir for conveying the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I think I am audible.
Yes, yes, you're audible. Please proceed.
Yeah. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all the dignitaries, all the participants, all the guests in two-day National Geographers Youth Conclave 2022 on the title Domains of Emotional Geography, Environment, Culture and Society, organized by our Department of Geography, Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, University of Delhi. This National Geographers Youth Conclave provides an opportunity to the young and budding geographers across institutions to come under single umbrella to present their research work based on innovative techniques. And it is also a matter of immense pleasure for all of us that our guests, including our keynote speaker, Dr. Monica Vich from Department of Geography, from Department of Geography, Miranda House, and other judges, Professor Payal Basu Roy from Kuch Bihar, Panchanan Burma University, Dr. Diksha Vajpayee Tiwari from Department of Geography, Dal Singh College, University of Delhi, and Dr. Kiran Varanwar from Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, and our principal, Professor Anil Sardana, are present in this inaugural session of the two-day National Geographers Youth Conclave. And our today's keynote speaker very well explained the role of culture in emotional geography. As we know that our culture has multi-dimensional aspects. She explained the various domains of emotional geography. She also explained that how our culture, including emotions, play a very significant role in decision-making process of our human beings. Emotional and behavioral geography also helps to understand the complexities of the real world. There is a lot of scope of emotional geography. I think very little research has been done on emotional geography. So there are vast research opportunities for all of us. But at the same time, it is true that it is very difficult, or I think it is not possible to measure our emotions. Professor Payal Basu Roy also highlighted the role of emotional geography in our life, how social well-being is interlinked with our discipline geography. He also highlighted the role of place attachment, emotional attachments, how they are significant in geography. He very well clearly highlighted the role of emotional geography in our day-to-day lives. Thank you, all the judges and all the participants, all the guests in today National Geographers Youth Conclave. As far as my knowledge is concerned, there are 40 teams with their mentor and research students who will participate and present their research findings in this National Geographers Youth Conclave. I am also thankful to all the participants from various colleges, various institutions who will take part in this today national conclave, and my special thanks to our principal, respectable Professor Anil Sardana, for his all kind support to the Department of Geography to organize such events. And last but not the least, our students are the main driving force behind this kind of events. Without the support of our students, these kind of events are not possible. In fact, our students of our department are the backbone of this kind of events. Students are working day and night to make this kind of event a grand success. With these words, I also thank to our students like Pratyush Chinna, Analia, Abhishek, Akshit, Avinash, Nitin, Rohit, Anushka, Aditi, Devuprati, and Rachna. This event is not possible because without the help of our students. So if I forget to mention the name of any one of you, so I hope nobody will mind. Now, this today National Geographers Youth Conclave is on, and I am very hopeful that all of us will learn great from this event. Thank you very much. It is over.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, as announced at the beginning of the inaugural session, we are delighted to present the cover of the abstract volume of department for this academic year 2021-22. Thank you, everyone. We have now reached the concluding point of this inaugural session. Patriotism, too, is an emotion that encompasses us all and connects us into one bond of Bhartiyata. On that note, I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. We thank everyone for joining the inaugural session. that is the end of the inaugural session.